Hello everyone, it's Sandra here, and I am doing a collaboration with Grandma Sandy. Grandma Sandy has an incredible channel where she posts videos, everything from Tea Time Tuesdays to fairy gardens, garden tours, cooking on a budget. So please check her out. She's a great supporter of the YouTube community, and she invited me to be in this Christmas display collaboration. So what better thing to do than to take advantage of our West Coast windstorms and take some of the beautiful windfall evergreen debris and make something beautiful out of it. Now, we have a gate on our driveway. I'm over here, by the way. We have a gate on our driveway, and I like to hang a swag from that gate every year. And normally our windstorms start in about November, so the timing is usually perfect. Now, Landon and I don't have a beautiful western red cedar on our property, but we were out for a walk the other day and a man was cleaning up debris from a windstorm, and we asked him if we could have some of the cedar, and he said absolutely. Just look at the little baby pine cones already on this cedar. So that's Christmas decoration without even trying. Like, being honestly, just hanging this swag up just like this on the gate would be spectacular. But so what I'm going to do is, obviously we grabbed two branches of the cedar. This little branch, obviously not big enough on its own, and this big one has got that big trunk branch there that I can cover up with this smaller one. So that sort of works well to have the two together. The shape of this is kind of, all over the place at the bottom, but cedar is a cascading nature of the tree, so I think it'll work out just fine that with gravity, these longer branches will weigh down slightly. And it's nature, so I'm not going to interfere with Mother Nature. She obviously thought this tree was beautiful just as it is. But what I did grab is some variegated holly. Now, we're fortunate here on the West Coast that we have holly, and again, it coincides with Christmas. There are some red berries on this holly, not as many as we've seen in years past, but that's okay. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all the stems together here at this upper end. I've got another piece of holly here. Again, this one's kind of ungainly, so I'm just gonna turn it around. And I think because it's got this long bare stem, I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting the holly out just in its current form, is I am going to do a strategic cut. I've got my pruners here. Stay away from the prickles, the holly itself, and I'll just leave a little bit of a stem to grab, and I'll try cutting it there. Just cut it long in case I've cut it just right. I can always cut it shorter. And that gives this cascading with the red berries right down the center, which I think is more of the look that I would be going for. And then now I've got some extra holly branches that maybe will stick in our Christmas tree. I like taking these ends of the holly just with the berries showing and just sticking them in the Christmas tree. And I will show you what that looks like at the end of the video. There's only about 3 or 4 little clusters that I can do, but I can always get more holly. All right, so now that I've got all the stems together here, and this obviously is quite a weight, so I need some wire to do this, and I need to just wrap the wire round and round and round to secure these stems together. So what I have here is some 18 gauge wire, and I'm just going to straighten it a little bit to begin with. Take some of the kinks out of it, not going to get all of them out. And then I'm just going to start making loops around and between these branches. Branch slipped down a little bit, so try to keep them up as high as I can. And I'll just keep repeating that so that I've got a good hold. Remember, this sway, I'm going to pull as hard as I can. This swag is going to be held vertically on our gate, and we still may get more West Coast windstorms. We're getting one Tuesday. So that means it's going to have to withstand all that Mother Nature can throw at it over the next few months. We leave this up for months. We will not take this down just when the Christmas season is over. So if you can see, I'm wrapping these stems, going in between, figure of eights, just trying to make this as secure as possible. Now, the worst case would be is that one of these stems just slips out the bottom. And you know, if you're worried about that, you can always take your length of wire, and if you're worried, say, about this holly branch slipping out the bottom, I can do a loop around that wire and then back and secure it around the main stem. And that just gives a little bit more security to that one bit of branch. And I can, while I'm doing it, I can do the same thing by looping around one of the cedar branches. And so that means that they are being held up, if you like, by having the wire looped around them. There you go. So I've got them secure now to each other. There you go. So you can see that's a nice secure, oops, sorry about touching the camera there. That's a nice secure wrapping of the stems, and I went around this holly branch and I went around this cedar branch to just give it a little bit of extra security. Now, one of the YouTube channels that I watch is Peggy Hebling's Garden What You've Got, and Peggy is a former florist, and she still has the flair to be able to do bows. And so she did a tutorial the other day on how to make a bow out of ribbon, especially this type of ribbon that has wire at the edges. Now, I have MS fingers that don't work that well, but even following Peggy's brilliant instructions, even I was able to make a silver bow. And I thought I would do a silver bow this year. We normally do a red bow, but I thought I would do silver. And so there's my bow that I made for the swag this year with its long trailing stems. So now I've got a little bit of my pipe cleaner. All I had was a purple pipe cleaner. Thank you, Micah, for leaving some of your pipe cleaners here. So the pipe cleaner, it's easy to fasten around these branches. And of course, being wired, and being a little bit fuzzy, it's going to be secure and probably add some additional stability to the cluster of stems as I twist this pipe cleaner tighter and tighter at the back. Now you can see now I've got the bow and I've got the swag and I've got these lovely trailing ends of ribbon that I'll arrange once we're out at the gate, but it's okay if they rearrange themselves with the wind. That's perfectly fine. Now, I do like red in a swag, and of course we do have a few holly berries, but what I asked Landon to go pick me from the garden, and I will insert here a picture of our skimmia shrub. We have more skimmia berries than we do holly berries this year. So Landon went and picked me some of these skimmia stems so that I might be able to add some red berries in the location of my bow here. And so my goal is, and I'm going to need a little bit more wire to do this, but my goal is to just, right now I'm just going to prop these berries up around this bow there. And so because this swag is not illuminated, I wanted a little bit of splash of the red berries just to give it a little bit extra oomph up near the bow. So I've never worked with skimmia before, so I'm just going to learn as we go here, see whether these skimmia branches can take, yeah, they can. They're a little bit more fragile than holly, but I've wired the branch there. So actually, if I can just wire these branches I might be able to make like picks out of them. There we go. And now I've got it as a pick and it seems fairly secure. And now I'll be able to face it the right way. There we go. And then go up under the bow and then just give it a little bit of a twist-tie twist to one of the branches behind. Remember, the branches are all tied to each other, so that should be good. So now I've got a few red berries next to the bow, so I'll just do the next one. Okay, so with this one, I just do the same. I take some wire and I wrap it around. I think I'm going to wrap it a bit higher because I want the berries to be up near the bow. This wire, it's 18 gauge. It's quite stiff and not bending as freely as I would like. My poor skin is screaming at me here. So I'm trying to wind this wire around, and I'm doing it above, you know, I'm going to call it like a stem node on this skimmia branch. Oops. So by doing that, by putting it above the node, hopefully that means that the if there's any slippage at all, and you can see the wire's trying to slip around the branch. There we go. Now I've got it turning. If it tries to slip down, that little knuckle, that little node there will stop the wire from slipping off the skimmia. So now I just have to turn it the other way so that it's more of a floral pick. Will it go over that? No, see the stem junction of the branch there is holding the wire in place. So let me just slip that up and through. And so this gate is right at our front driveway. And so because it doesn't have illumination, I really thought putting some red berries right in this bow would add that festive flair when people are walking by. So there'll be a little cluster of red berries here rather than having lights or anything else. So most people are going to be viewing this from probably 30 or 40 feet back, and even if they are driving up, then they are, you know, in their vehicle. So similarly with this little cluster of berries, there's a crotch here. So in goes my wire through the crotch, bend it over. That secures the berries, and then just I'm going to wind this one around. Oops, I lost a couple berries. A couple berries fell off. That's okay. Still a pretty cluster. So now I'm just going to take a look at how my swag is looking. Oh, it looks nice, but I think it needs some red berries on this side. So I'll come up underneath the bow here, and I think I'll put the longer cluster of berries in the center with it kind of going up like this. So it's going up like this at the back. And do the same thing here. Just basically go in the back, and anywhere you can grab with the wire is fair game. So what I have now is I have my swag, and I need to fashion a loop to hang it on the gate. Now I've got all this wire at the back, so the good news is I've got lots of potential hanging points. And so what I'm going to do now, pardon me, is I'm just going to fashion a loop out of that 18 gauge wire and then attach it to the back. So I've got probably about 2 feet of wire here. So I've got one end done, and then I'll do another. So I want to go down and then up to make the loop. All right, so now I've got my loop. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this outside and we're going to hang it on our gate. And at the end, I'll show you what the Christmas tree looks like, putting those extra red berries in the tree. All right, so we're out at our gate, and this is the all-weather red bow that we normally use on our driveway gate, and I would normally have put that on a swag. But now Landon's going to take that one down and put up our new one. Oh, he's ended up just winding the wire around our metal gate here. And I love how this new one trails so low on the gate. I don't think I've ever made a swag that goes quite this low. And you'll see the silver ribbon. The reason I wanted to do silver is the silver, and look at our Vancouver Island slate gate posts that we have. So I thought the silver would work really well. And so I'll just stand back or scoot back a little bit to show you the effect. Like I said, nobody examines these swags up close. So there it is on our driveway from a distance. And I think it looks just lovely. So stay tuned and I'll show you what the holly looks like in the Christmas tree. So thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to the wonderful Grandma Sandy for the idea for this Christmas display collaboration. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.